All right, a few of the specifics. It's a Ford F550 gas V10 engine. It's 4x4 capabilities. It's almost the same chassis as the ambulances, with the exception it's gas. It's a 5-person crew. There's all the amenities in there that make it a little bit more comfortable if we have to drive a longer distance. It is a manual shift, 4x4, so you have to spin the hubs, very similar to the pickup 142. It's got plenty of payload and towing power, extra if there's future expansion. It was made by a company up in Wisconsin, LDV Industry. They make a lot of specialty vehicles. We actually based this one off of the FBI vehicles that they make. As you can see, it's got a very, very tight turning radius. Be very aware of this when you're driving. As you can see in the pictures there, you can actually overturn this if all right, so in the front cab, your right-hand console, if you're driving, has a few features. One would be a go light. That go light is a movable, controllable spotlight that projects hundreds of feet away. Very bright, works well. You've seen them on possibly other ambulances, combat vehicles, boats, etc. The next would be the pole light that is indicating that the pole lights are up. So if that light is flashing, one of the 4 LED pole lights is not stowed. It's in up position or slightly up position. So you need to check that before moving. And then the green switch there, the green light, is a 12-volt DC on-off. This is for the LED lighting system and outlets throughout the vehicle. This is one of 2. So you'd need to press that and make that green light turn on to get your electric system to work in the box area. Your emergency lights, for the most part, just press that red button and then your pole light control as you see. On the vehicle key, just like with many of our other vehicles, you have access to the forest preserve in the median there. You have those drop down gates. That's what that key is for. So just be aware that that key is on the key ring here. There are auxiliary switches that are a Ford standard. If you have ever driven the hazmat vehicle, it's kind of the same setup there. So from right to left, that right switch, auxiliary 4, that's a trailer dome light. So as long as it's plugged in, trailer is plugged into the squad, and the switch is forward, you'll actually have a 12-volt light. There's 2 of them in the trailer that will activate. Auxiliary 3 is your trailer emergency lights. You need to flip this switch to activate your trailer emergency lights. There's about 6 emergency lights on that trailer. Prior squad, it really never worked. The wiring system wasn't compatible. This one obviously works. So to activate your trailer emergency lights, you just push this forward. Auxiliary 1 and Auxiliary 2, right and left side, are your scene lights on the squad itself. Different from the pole lights, these are actually built into the side of the vehicle, very similar to the way the ambulance or the engine would be set up. This is the rear passenger side compartment. This is your power system for the box of the vehicle itself. So the left picture, that red switch down there, keep that in the middle. It's their battery optimizer switch. Keeps the charging of the 2 batteries for the inverter charging system equal. The green switch there, that's your second DC on that I had spoke about earlier. And then the panel lights there, keep those in the on position. Those are your AC power for your awnings and your outlets, etc. Stuff like that. Over here on the right picture, the middle switch where that arrow's pointing, that is your master power switch. So if the vehicle is not working and you can't get anything to power up, by chance somebody might have flipped that down. For the most part, keep that in the up position. There's only a few circumstances that would ever indicate that we would need to put that into the down position. So again, keep that in the up position. You should be good. features on this vehicle. There's a step and or a bench seat. That's the left picture. The middle picture shows that step or bench seat out. Also above that is a holding tray with a bunch of miscellaneous items. And then above that is where the scuba sets go. All three of these slide outs have different positions, so be aware that as you're moving these trays in or out. The right-hand picture, the red tarp, it's a ground tarp. It's about the same size as the canopies. There's one on each side. Canopies, dual side controls. There's canopy on the right and the left-hand side, and there's a controller on the right-hand and left-hand side in the rear compartment. You press and hold the in and or press and hold the out for 3 seconds to activate. As that canopy is coming in or out, if you press the middle button there, that would stop it in that position. These are wind sense or ice sense. Basically, if it feels a large gust of wind, it'll auto retract, or if it's getting weighed down from snow or ice, again too heavy, it'll auto retract. Nice feature. The only thing is once they auto retract due to this, it will lock the system out. You'd have to cycle the vehicle on and off to put those back out. It's a scissor type canopy, so if you look at it once it's extended, you'll notice that it's not going to lock out in position, so just be aware of that. All right, the generator and power system. The trailer and the squad each have their own generator. They're the Honda EU 2000 I's. It's an inverter generator combo. TRT and Hazmat also have these on them. If you parallel these together with the parallel cord, they can create a 30 amp. Otherwise, they're roughly a 15 amp or a 13.3 regulated. So you can run these individually, or you can run them together paralleled, depending on your application. The next slide will go through that a little bit more. Here I want you to watch after we're done. When don't you parallel these? Well, when the trailer and the squad have been separated due to logistic or operational needs. That's why we went with two smaller generators, one versus one large one, plus the portability is much easier. Make sure you're aware and familiar with these generators. They have a vent cap on the top, and you know, they take the fuel. Regular fuel, or in the squad we have 2 cans of True Fuel, and we did that because we didn't want to have a gas can in there open, flopping around, spilling. The parallel cord that allows these two to be put together is in the squad alongside that generator. So just go ahead and keep an eye on that. Watch the video and then click on the slide to advance to the next one. Rear compartment is a decon setup. There's a 50-gallon freshwater decon tank. It's on a gravity pump. That's simple. It's hooked to a garden hose. You take that gravity pump, plug it into a 110 outlet, either on the generator or on the vehicle itself, and use that garden hose powered up. It sprays just the fresh water after you have deconned with the yellow Integralin Macaw system. Use a simple green in that. Foam the surface rescuer or the diver off, scrub as needed with the gear, and go from there. The DF200, which is in those white jugs, it's a viral or biological. It's basically only used when the dive group leader dictates. It's not an everyday normal decon solution. It's for pretty high risk environments. There's some extra garden hose in there also if need be, and a few extra nozzles. We had installed in a horizontal position in the middle of the vehicle a 2-bottle 6,000 psi Cascade. Just like any typical Cascade, you would open one bottle, turn your regulator up to about 4,000 psi. That's going to supply your airline, which is 200 foot long, with plenty of air supply for our dive operations. That would go to the surface panel box for the supplied air system. When retracting this, you'll press the red button where that arrow is depicting. Another person is going to hold on to the end of that airline so it's not dragging on the ground, and also helping slow this down because it does come in very, very fast. All right, another feature that we had added in the rear of the vehicle is this access hatch. This is so we can bring the supplied air line through there, and we can keep the doors to the vehicle closed then. Again, this is 200 foot long. Towards the end of that 200 feet, you'll see a green, then a yellow, and then finally a red section. And that's basically telling you you're coming towards the end of where it's mounted to the vehicle. So just be cautious as you're pulling that out if you see that. All right, when we set the vehicle up, the driver's side is primarily set up for ice rescue and swiftwater rescue, although there are spare dive sets or sets of scuba gear on this side. But again, ice rescue, you can see the Fortuna, an Ice Commander, all your ropes. Basically, ice rescue, go to this compartment. In the middle, on the lower shelf, are personal dive gear bags. On the top are go kits for swiftwater rescue technicians. And then in the rear compartment is all you would need for any type of a flooding or swiftwater environment for rope systems, line gun, hardware, etc. And then in the bottom shelf is the generator. And we've kind of gone over this already. This is the rear compartment decon area. And you can see all the items there listed. All right, the passenger side of the vehicle was set up for dive rescue operations. So if you have a dive, ideally it would be best if you can park the passenger side towards the water. Our primary sets of scuba gear, our supplied airlines, most of the guys' personal dive bags, and then your communications equipment, weights, etc. are all on this side for the most part. In the rear compartment, you'll have some evidence collection items, window saw, and a few other ancillary items. A few review bullet points. Again, you don't need to leave this vehicle running on scene, pushing out exhaust. The 12-volt lighting system is separate. It's got an inverter charger. After about 2 hours, probably want to just plug the generator in to the vehicle itself through the shoreline power area, and it'll trickle charge. Roof access, you have a rear ladder, you have a large cargo net up on the roof, and again, remember, this vehicle is designed to drive up and over the curve right down to the water's edge and function. It's a much lighter weight. It can drive down the bike paths, and if you feel that you need to disconnect the trailer, go right ahead and do so. So the standard configuration is this trailer should always be hooked up to this vehicle. Some things that you'll want to do to just kind of check over prior to leaving. If you're going to be driving, make sure those chains are not dragging on the ground, that they're crisscrossed. Make sure the hooks are secured, that the ball pin is in, and that the hitch pin is also in, and that your electrical 7-prong electrical plug is secured. That not only powers your lighting and your emergency lighting, but also powers your braking system on the trailer. There's a bunch of 4x4s and 6x6 pieces in the trailer. If you get into an area where you need to go up and over a curve with the trailer and you're not going to clear that, you can build a ramp system by laying those pieces of wood. I can go over that with you if you have any questions. You'll note the blue hitch color. It's 2 5/16 ball on this one. You'll also notice that we have orange and also white trailer hitches within our department. That's a MABUS standard statewide for different sizes. If you have any questions, ask one of us that were on the committee that helped build and design this vehicle. The daily checkout and the weekly checkout can be done via this QR code. It's in the driver's area. You can scan that right now if you'd like to try it. You can use your phone. You can use one of the ambulance or engines phones or an iPad. They have a QR code scanner. They're free to download. And again, you can try scanning that. It's a full inventory. It's picture by picture, so it should be fairly self-explanatory. If you have any other questions, let us know, and otherwise, thanks for watching.